Seguro.
How wonderful.
Can I invite the Minister to come up?
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. We've been talking about building solidarity and resisting Trump's administration. If you would honour us with a few words, we'd be very pleased.
Yes, of course. Bueno, muchas gracias. Thank you very much. We took some time to get to London because we were very close. We were in Ankara, in Turkey. We were with President Maduro, who was in Russia, Belarus, and Turkey, and especially because we have relationships with these countries, but this trip was because of the politics and the impositions of the United States against our economy and our people. Yeah. And I understand you have been talking about this strange leader of the United States. It's difficult to qualify, no? Because you can hear many things about him. Many people say he's not intelligent. Others say he's crazy. But what is important is that he's making a lot of harm. So we could evaluate him by his facts and his actions. And well, in first place, thank you very much to all of you. We have always known of your solidarity. President Comandante Chavez had his best moments lived in England, and the United Kingdom was always accompanied by you. And President Maduro told me from the first day I was appointed, you have to go to London. You have to go to England, because we have many friends. Maybe you cannot see that in the media, in the newspapers, in TV, BBC, but we have a lot of friends, British friends, English friends, Irish friends. Yeah. Greeks, yes. Europeans, and we have friends all over the world. And that is what has helped the Bolivarian Revolution to stand up and to continue, because it hasn't been easy, especially since our main leader passed away. And President Maduro, you know, he had a very hard time. When President Maduro got to know Comandante Chavez when Chavez was in jail, after the rebellion of 1992, and they met there. And when President Maduro was freed, right, when President Chavez was freed, Maduro was his personal, how to say, his bodyguard, yeah. And he's a very intelligent man. He's a trade unionist. He comes from the trade unions. He didn't go to the university, but he knows more than many people like me. Maybe I have a diploma here, an MPhil from Cambridge, you know. But I think that my president knows much more than whatever I can know, and I learned in the academy, because the real university is in the streets, is in the neighborhoods, in the barrios, and especially in Latin America, and especially in the countries that are facing threats and that are on a revolutionary path. So when Comandante Chavez died, before, of course, he thought about who could continue leading the Bolivarian revolution, because he had many options. We have good leaders in the Bolivarian revolution. I remember one night in the hospital in Havana, I was with him. You know, we were alone, and he asked me about these, maybe 5 or 6 people, men. They were all men, really, and his compañeros, no? And he talked by himself. No? He said, I believe that Nicolás may be a good leader because this and that and that, although he has this defect or that other defect, and this other friend, this and that and that. So finally he said, I believe the man is Nicolás Maduro. I'm sure that he can continue all the efforts I have made, and he can lead not only a government, but a revolution in Latin America and the revolution in the world. And I said, Presidente, you are right, I agree. He is the man, and there is the man. No, he has been confronting the worst situations. We never imagined that the United States, and not only the United States, and when I say the United States, I mean the government, you know, the administrations, not only Trump, Obama as well. You know, it was in 2015 when Obama issued this executive order saying that Venezuela is an unusual and an extraordinary threat to the security, national security of the United States, which is absurd, no? It has no sense. The only threat in the world, the real threat in the world,
is the United States. The
United
United States.
Of the United States, and especially now, no? Especially now. But well, you saw all what Obama did with the color of his skin and with his smile and his,
ISIS.
Yes, and he did a lot of harm also. But with Venezuela, he was hard, but he never threatened with invading or with a military operation. He had his own ways to invade Venezuela through other means. No? But as I said, as soon as the day the elections were held, the 14th of April of 2013, and the same day of the elections, the opposition in Venezuela, right-wing opposition, didn't recognize that they had lost this man Capriles, no? And then these riots began that same night. No? They destroyed medical centers, schools. All the social politics of the revolution were attacked symbolically by these people. But 11 Venezuelans died in 2 days. Then we had elections from the mayors, the alcaldes, no? How do we call it here? The council. Yes. And the revolution won 75% of the alcaldías. And this was in December 2013, and in February and March 2014, they were in the streets with these riots, barricades, and all this crazy political violence with no real justification. No? It's the same opposition. It's the same people who led the coup d'etat against Comandante Chavez and the sabotage to our economy, and who retired from the elections in 2005. It's the same people, and their boss is sitting in the Oval Office, whomever he is, and if it's Clinton or Obama or Trump. And this man in the Oval Office has other bosses. the corporations, the oil companies, and Venezuela has too many resources. You know, not only oil, we have gas, we have gold, silver, coltan, water. We have Amazonic jungle. And Chavez was born in Venezuela, like Simón Bolívar was born in Venezuela 200 years ago. But we don't have 200 years more to wait for another Bolívar or another Chavez. We have to win this battle and this war now. And the empire is weak. That's why Trump is the president of the United States.
I agree.
Because it's declining. And this is the time where we have to get together, where we have to unite, like the United Union, where we have to, all the working classes in the world, as our good friend Charles Marx said, we have to get together.
Yeah.
And we have to have a common program, an agenda, to change the world, or to stop the world from disappearing, at least humanity from disappearing. We don't have 50 years. Climate change is a reality. We have been helping the islands, our neighbors from the Caribbean, with the hurricanes. Usually there was one big hurricane in each season. There were 5. And there's one still now.
Yeah, it's not
a storm,
over yet, is it?
but it can become a hurricane. Dominica is destroyed. In Dominica there are about 75,000 inhabitants, but it's destroyed. Not even a tree is standing up. All the roofs. And maybe the only country that is, or not the only country, the only group of countries that are helping Dominica really in concrete are the ALBA countries, Venezuela and Cuba especially, and not the United Kingdom or the United States or Mexico, because we really care about these people. Many people say that we help the Caribbean because we want them to vote for us in the United Nations or in the OAS, the Organization of American States. That's not true. If they voted against us, we would help them.
They're projecting.
Yes. And there is also in Venezuela, there's an economic internal war. That's how we call it, not the guerra económica, which we hadn't seen so strongly during the Chavez period. I mean, these people, and especially the government of the United States, believed that the revolution should die with Chavez, because he was an extraordinary leader, an extraordinary human being. He had the capacity to understand millions of people talking to 3 or 4 people. And when he understood the people, he planned policies that went directly to the real problem of the people. And they believed that Chavez died. But Chavez did not die. Chavez is living. And we can see him in the eyes of especially the women in Venezuela, but also the children. Baby children who didn't know Chavez today, the first thing they learn to say is not Papa or Mama. They see a picture and they say Chavez. And because he is with us, maybe many of you don't believe in God, others maybe, or in other lives, no? But irrespectively from that, Chavez is living, either his spirit or his ideas, or both, but they live with us. And especially, I should say this, they live within Nicolás Maduro. I was his vice president the first 3 years, and I saw how many vultures came from many countries and tried to convince Maduro to get away from the main project we had. They told him, I heard people